Nope. Yeah, sorry about that. It looks like there was a recent update to OBS, so some of my stuff got reset, but thankfully it just seems to be the audio stuff. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Probably should move some of my stuff over here. Yeah, today's a bit of an impromptu mini painting stream. I'm going to be working on this little dwarf miner. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. He's all pale looking, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a little bit of color added back to him. I also have a couple other ones to work on if we get through that one too fast. I don't know, like, given how detail oriented I am, probably not likely that I'll get through it quickly anyway. But yeah, got a couple other guys I can work on. Warrior, gunman, and the like. I don't want to shift too much if I rub my hand. Fortunately, it is causing the... Alright, I think that's settled it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the mic stand's a little weird. Just a wee bit weird. Hello, Matthew Gordon. Hello. Undead Nerd, welcome. How you guys doing? Greetings to you. Greetings to you, indeed. Alright, where's my general use brush? It's been a while since I did any painting, so I'm a bit lost on where I put all my stuff. Yeah, been a hot minute. Hey Kiro, what's up? How you doing tonight? I'm doing alright. Got home from work a little while ago, so, you know, the usual stuff with how that goes. But I'm doing pretty good, I tend to think. Metal Gear is amazing. Got the re-release. Awesome. Cool. Spider-Man 2 is also good. I will not agree with you, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, my friend. What I think doesn't matter. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Simultaneously on a VC talking with Sword Nurse right now, but watching you paint out of a corner of my eye. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. You get to enjoy your evening on two fronts, visually and auditorially. I'm trying to find my general use brush. I haven't... Yeah, this is what happens when you don't paint in a long time. You forget which brushes are where. And it doesn't help I'm already a naturally disorganized... Look what happened to that one. Look what... I haven't touched them. Like, I don't know how the hell that happened. Yeah, but that one just turned in... just separated. Great. I definitely will have to invest in some new brushes, probably. Hold on. This one might be the one that just might be a little bit frayed. Maybe. Yeah, we'll start with that one. I might, as I work about, realize which brush I use my general use. Try. Paper towel there. Do a little preparation. At least I got all my paints and everything. Why'd you not like it? It got very woke. Lots of wokeness in that fucking thing. Not to mention, you know, the decision to replace Peter Parker at the end with Miles. I really didn't like that decision. I didn't feel earned, especially after only 2 games. It was very transparent why they did it, so yeah, pretty straightforward on that one. Also, like, the decision, like, even if you want to make the argument, like, let's take wokeness out of it. You can't tell me it was a good decision to end the game, spoilers, I guess, with Miles getting the final hit on Venom, who is an iconic Peter Parker villain. Like, I'm not saying, like, they don't have any carryover of the villains they fight. But are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, Miles gets the final hit on Venom, not Peter. And especially in this game where Venom is, again, spoilers, is Harry. his best friend, even in the game. Like not ignoring comic book lore, ignoring extensive lore, just focusing on the game. The game itself reinforces that these two are like brothers almost, with how close they are. Yet Miles, who has no personal relationship with Harry or Venom, is the one who gets the final hits. Bullshit. And again, the decision at the very end, the wokeness, it's trash. It's trash. I'd rather play anything else. Rather play anything else. Like the first Spider-Man game, which they did much better. Ooh. Stuck at work, but saw this and was like, hell yeah. Awesome. Awesome indeed. Alright. So I think I'll get his flesh bits first on here. Yeah, because that way I can then build off of it with like the beard and everything. So we're going to go with Bugman's Glow for that. It's pretty damn good flesh tone to start with. So actually, sometimes Bugman Glow actually kind of weirds me out. Because as a paint, it's so, like, I hate to give, well, I don't hate to give. I give a lot of credit to Citadel on Bugman's Glow. Because I don't think there's any other flesh tone paint that just is scarily on point with, like, a peachier flesh. And even the way it, like, lightens when you mix it with white and stuff, like, it's weird. In many ways, I would say Bugman's Glow is the perfect flesh tone. It can be a little quick and dirty here. Any mess ups I make, I'm gonna paint over in a second here. Yeah, that's what you build off of instead of over. Well, according to the game director of Spider-Man 2, no. Miles Morales is Spider-Man, and Peter is retiring. Like, at the very end of the game where, like, when Miles says to Peter, he's like, hey, I got this, at least for a little while. They intended that to be, no, he's taking over permanently. Like, at no point were they, you know, entertaining the idea that Miles wasn't taking the mantle. And even within the game, they both call each other Spider-Man the whole fucking game. As for us moving away from it, I hate to disagree with you, but you know that company that was recently revealed to be, like, the source of a lot of, like, the political pandering in video games recently? What was it, like, Happy Baby or something like that? Yeah, now we know there's a whole company dedicated to making sure everyone is ESG friendly. Sweet Baby Inc., yeah. Like, we now know they exist. So, they have a whole company dedicated to it. I hate to disagree with you, but I don't think we're moving away from it. Not yet. I think we will eventually, but it's going to take a lot more blows to, like, the overall, like, budgets. Like, when these companies start truly losing money, then we'll see things turn around. Until then, I don't think we're going to see much of a shift. As much as I'd want us to, I just don't see it happening. Although I'm a little bit, to be fair, if I'm being perfectly transparent, I'm a little black pilled at the moment. I have not had, I'm not going to, like, I'm not going to weigh down a stream with, like, negatives, because this is the whole point of this right now is for a little bit of therapy. But, I've had a little bit of a rough week. Again, I don't want to dwell on it, but yeah, I'm a little bit in a mood for black pilling, so take my doomerisms for what you will. But talking a little bit about Warhammer, apparently there was some Warhammer Old World stuff being announced soon. I don't know if that was today or soon, or just soonish. I don't know. I know a buddy of mine on My Discord community mentioned it. I'm trying to remember when he said it was, though. Maybe tonight? I'm not sure. I say tonight. I guess it's going to be morning for the Brits. Gotta stay in focus here. Making sure we get those 2 thin coats. So you guys see what I mean by like Bugman's Glow, though? Like, that's scarily like fleshy, right? Like real skin. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary how on point Bugman's Glow is to flesh tone. And again, like, just for the highlights and everything, you just gotta add a little dash of white, and it's got those perfect highlights. So although I will like up and down swear to how good Vallejo paints are. Like, Vallejo are probably the best paints for miniature painting, period. Citadel have, like, very specific ones that I just don't think are beaten anywhere, and Bugman's Glow is one of them. The rest are, like, the metallics. Like, the metallics that they produce are... Like, Leadbelcher, I buy the box. I buy a shit ton of Leadbelcher. Because I've tried other, like, I tried Vallejo's Gunmetal, I've tried a retro paint brand, I think it's Coat D'Arms. They have a gunmetal, and theirs is similar to Leadbelcher, but it's still got a little bit of a, I would call it the glitter effect, where it feels a little too, like, refractive. So, you know, like, modern day Citadels, like Leadbelcher, though, that is, like, pristine. Where they get the money? BlackRock. Which I know sounds like a World of Warcraft thing, if you're familiar with that, but they're like the big stockholders for a lot of things, and they like shift money around. It's actually kind of devious when you look into it, why all this is so prevalent, and why so many big CEOs like bend the knee. So that's part of why I say I don't think that stuff's going away anytime soon. It was a skeleton dragon? What? Alright. Don was missed a little bit of his finished. For Tomb King. Oh, okay. So that's like the announcement stuff? Wait, is that literally it? Like, is that all they brought up? Come on, there's gotta be more than that. Actually, one thing I do fear about Old World is it's gonna end up like the Horus Heresy. Yes? Oh my... Really? That's it? You've gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. Really? That's not a good sign. Alright, so we got the flesh tones on there. I'll do the highlights later. Let's just keep going with like the base tones. So, should I go for more of like for the miner? Should I go for a more retro, vibrant, saturated color look? Or should I look for a little bit more realism, I guess I should say, quote unquote, but more like a more modern style of painting where it's a lot more like highlight based, a little bit more dry brushing, and the colors are a bit more monotone? Which do you guys think I should shift more to? Hello Draven, welcome. Also, Mr. Bones, if I didn't welcome you specifically, I apologize. Welcome, Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones. Bernie Man. Is your blood dragons? I should say, like, this model is not an old world model. Well, technically not anyway. This is a 3D print of a more classic, old school, retro Warhammer dwarf. effectively. This is actually the one-page rules sculpt. So if you guys have a 3D printer and want to go pick one up, I believe this is free on like Cults and other places like that, and it's a completely original design of theirs, but it's based on the old school Dawi from Warhammer Fantasy. Based on, mind you, not in any way is it meant to replace or reflect GW products. Anyway, old school look neat. At least it was plastic. I'm just here rattling about. Rattling me bones. Actually, maybe I should do a Skeletor voice for you. At least it was plastic. The Philippines. Currently visiting a relative. Good to see you again. Good to see you again, too. You're in the Philippines? Wow. Yeah, you are traveling about. Alright, old school look with well, why not? We'll go for a saturated look then. Which means I gotta go vibrant with the colors. Which means I need a temperer. Basically gonna be mixing a lot of things with the Flash Gets Yellow color. Because it really brings out the saturation and the vibrant colors within other colors. That being said, there's a little bit of something right there. Yeah, it looks like he's got a little bit of something stuck to him. I'll just paint over it. It's going to look weird because it's right on the fingertips of his glove, but I don't want to break the material just to get at it, so we'll have to ignore it, I'm afraid. Alright, so for... So I'm going to use Vallejo's Beastie Brown, and I'm debating on darkening it a little bit with some Vallejo's Black, but that might be a bit strong. So... might not do that. Actually, to make it a little bit more of a vibrant brown, I might add a dash of orange fire. But I don't know if that'll give me the color I'm aiming for. We'll see. First, I gotta shake it up. Gotta revivify the paint. There we are. I guess agitate is the actual correct word. Okay. So let's see how it looks natively. But yeah, as it stands right now with Warhammer Old World, I was cautiously optimistic before. Now I'm a little bit more... I'm assuming it's going to end up a lot like Horus Heresy has, where a lot of it's going to be not necessarily abandoned. Abandoned implies they're not doing anything with it. They're going to mainly be releasing at a very extremely slow pace new models and stuff like that. But seldom with how much they are where they're actually currently more successful, at least comparatively. Brand with Age of Sigmar. Yeah, because right now with Horus Heresy, which I'm more invested in, they've basically completely screwed it over. Because, especially with how they shelved the Firstborn Marines from like the 40k stock, now you can't fill out your Horus Heresy armies with the models they still haven't released for it, because like Assault Marines don't exist for Horus Heresy at the moment. Like, we are still waiting on that, unless they just announced that they're finally releasing that. They were working on it before, but it hadn't been released. We had that new Imperial Knight last I checked, which can be used in 40k, so it's interchangeable. So a dedicated unit for Horus Heresy they hadn't been working on. And we really need melee infantry, because that's one half of the basic backbone of any army is your infantry. And if you want to play a melee army, you need melee units. But we've only had ranged units in the form of bolters with bayonets and Mark 6 armor. Those prayers look amazing, but you refuse. Fair enough. You'll buy some of the characters and stuff to convert into Templars if they weren't goddamn resin. Yep. Ironically, the solution to that is also resin-based, though. 3D printing! Yay! Though, to be fair, anything you print at home resin-based will be a lot better. Because it's layer printed as opposed to... the method used by Games Workshop, at least traditionally with Finecast and the like, where they try and do the same thing they do for their plastic minis, which is do injection molding. And I don't even know how you do that with resin. And to be quite frank, with how poorly it's done, I don't think that you really can say you do it successfully. You get lucky that it holds together. Resin really isn't meant for casts. So they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot in that regard. Oh, so they finally did show up with the Assault Marines? Awesome. Good. The Horus Heresy might not be screwed. Although it has been up to this point. But yeah, we really needed those. Because when the thing is, before they retired the Firstborn Marines, which by the way they said they weren't going to do, they fucking lied. I made a video about it if you guys want to check it out, but it's like a couple months old now. But yeah, it was bad enough prior to that, because the only way people could play Horus Heresy with melee units is buy the Firstborn Marine kits that are the old kits for like Assault Marines for Firstborn. And that got shelved because they got rid of Firstborns, which they did months ago as well. So for months, Horus Heresy players were stuck with just ranged infantry, but no melee infantry. Unless you went on eBay and got some Firstborn Marines or printed off your own at home with a 3D printer. Which, to be fair, you should probably do at this point. It's a better investment than keeping to buy their kits. But I digress. But it's good to hear they finally announced the new kits, because hopefully that'll mean Horus Heresy isn't screwed over, and going forward they actually invest proper time into making models for it. Because as it stands, like 40k, I'll tell you this, I'm losing a little bit of hope for it. Well, like the community-wise, has always been a little bit of like doomerism in me, especially these last few years. But the game itself, you know, going to a hobby store, you know, playing games, shooting the shit with other people who know theirs, that stuff like that always felt good. But even on that end lately, I've been having some bad luck. Oh. That's why I haven't painted in a while or made any videos in a while on 40k. It's just been weighing on me. My enthusiasm for it took a hit. Because I went to a hobby store to go and like just play some games with some like a new I was about to say a new group in my area, but technically they're an old group that haven't been active or doing anything since COVID, but they finally apparently started meeting up again, and my local hobby store told me about it. Like, they're like, hey, by the way, there's a group that had been meeting here before the pandemic, and now they, after all this time, they finally, you know, caught up with each other, and they're apparently resetting back up games. And they did it Tuesdays. And I was super excited because I had Tuesday evenings off at the time. I don't anymore. But at the time, I did prep in the morning at the restaurant I work at, and then I'd have the rest of the day free. Which means I could go over there for, you know, some games, play a little, and then go home. You know, I can play at least one game's worth before calling it a day and actually get some regular playtime in for 40k. And the first day I went there, it was cool. Like, they were setting up. There wasn't very many people. There was like 4 people total, including me. So 2 games worth of people. Though I had to go home because I got a call from my mom. She needed help with like the farm and stuff. I can't remember exactly what was happening at the time, but I think the horses, the farrier had come for the horses. Which the farriers, you know, trim their hooves and do like the maintenance on them that we don't necessarily know how to do properly. So it's always good to get a farrier, by the way, if you have a farm and you don't know how to do that stuff. So yeah, I then attempted to go the following week, and that's like the last time I went because it was bad. I showed, like, the week before, I asked the guy, like, hey, you're going to be here again next week. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to be here next week. The guy was going to play a game again. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be here next week. I'm like, oh, awesome. I even asked the store owner, I was like, hey, like, you know, you're going to be fine next Tuesday. The store's going to be open, you know. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll probably have more players, too. So I went, and unfortunately, there was no one there. Well, there was the store owner and some of his employees, and the tables were right there, but nobody. So I decided, okay, maybe I'm early, and I set up the tables. So I set up the tables to play, and I had my army out. I had my orcs. I was ready to go. I was super hype. And unfortunately, after 3 hours of waiting and the sun's going down, nobody showed. And I even asked the store owner, I was like, hey, you know, did they cancel or did you get a call or anything? He went, no. And I'm even on their, like, Discord thing, and I didn't see anything. So I sat there for 3 hours wanting to play just at least one game of 40k. And I sat there in utter silence with nothing to do. So that was a bit, you know, I'm not gonna, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I kind of took a blow. Like, my enthusiasm was already kind of like at a wavering tip. But after that, it was a plummet. It was like, what the hell am I even doing? So that was not my best or finest moment. But it's been a little bit since then, so hopefully maybe I'll get another chance at some point. With maybe a different group, or maybe just get into my own routine of something else. So I think what I'm gonna do... let me look at some reference photos. Some like the older dwarf paints. Retro. Oh damn, those are bright red. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is bright. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do that. That's gonna... I'm gonna need some greens, though. That is a bright-ass fucking... Whew. Yeah, the reference photo I pulled up, it's like red. Like bright saturated red and like a sickly, ghostly green, bright green. Yeah, that one of my favorite hobby stores in the big city went super woke. I took a bolt action hit after that. Thankfully, a smaller local shop isn't like that now. Well, that's cool, man. And yeah, glad you're able to find a better group. Yeah. Alright, so now that I know I'm going with that. I'm gonna do a little bit less lead belcher. Although I guess I could apply the lead belcher to the pickaxe. So let's do that. Give these a minor. Don't need to do anything ornate. Would make a lot of sense to do ornate. But yeah, I'm trying to look on the bright side of stuff lately. Yeah, it's not fun to look at things with a little bit more of a rougher attitude, I suppose. But yeah, stuff happened lately. Again, I won't go into detail, but like Discord drama, man. It's like, normally you try and like ignore that kind of shit, but when it's dropped on your front door like it was for me, yeesh. Bad day all around. Let me talk about something a little bit more positive. Today at work, something very funny happened. So while I was working, we had a bit of a gap in like customers and stuff coming in to serve and wait on. So one of the waiters was just kind of hanging out back with me and the other dishwasher, and he's just kind of shooting the shit. And he gets like really like blunt with us all of a sudden. He's like, dude, I have to work so hard. Like, he's like, I can't rely. What he said made me laugh out loud. He said, dude, I can't rely on my looks like the female staff can. And they're like the girl waitresses are coming in and out, and they just like, they didn't react to him saying that at all. And he's saying it right to us very, very like overtly. So respect to them. They probably were like, yeah, you can't. So he's like giving me like giving me and the other dishwasher like a strategy breakdown. He's like, so I gotta rely a lot more on my charm. So he's describing in detail like his technique. He's like, so I know I'm like really lucky. He's not wrong. Yeah, I know, right? So he's breaking down his strategy. He's like, so I know I like have an awesome table in regards to, you know, like not having to worry about being too charming when it's like older ladies, right? And I like at this point I'm biting my tongue as I'm working on the dishes. He's like, so if they're like, it's like a group of older ladies, I know I'm getting a good tip, you know, I'm getting a damn good tip, and I just couldn't help myself. I went, that's because they're hoping for one too. And he starts laughing. We're all fucking laughing. I swear, the other dishwasher was putting dishes away while I'm washing them. He nearly drops like 3 plates. Nearly. Didn't quite hit the floor. Got it to him. He caught him. But like, they were not prepared for like a witty like break. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. The manager walked in like right when we were like laughing our asses off. And he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, you know, don't you got stuff to do? And I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. I'm just laughing while I'm doing it. Talk to him. He's the one not doing his job. I don't know. That was funny, though. Like, he had, like, we had several, like, times tonight where he just, like, kept coming back because we had... It was weird, because for a Friday, we're normally, like, super busy. And we were for part of it, for, like, the early part of dinner service. But then it, like, picked up. And then it died. Like, we had a high dinner service rush, like, with an hour wait. And then out of nowhere, like, 7, it died. Like, customers were gone. The bar was empty, which is rare. And the tables were empty. And I was like, the fuck? So, yeah. That was a fun conversation, though. Oh, good God. Coverage of the pickaxe head. So I gotta get a little bit more right there, but I guess I should start hitting up that red. It's a vibrant red, so doing the baseline bloody red actually might be fine, just for an overall coat. But let's see. This is gonna be the big color. Oh, by the way, for anyone new who might be coming in, this is an example of one of my previous paint jobs. In fact, I did a video on this one. It's right on the channel if you want to see its speed painting video. I do recommend you check it out. It was a pretty detailed, well-edited video, I would say, for myself. Yeah, so feel free to go check it out. All that's dry brush, by the way. That wasn't with an airbrush or anything. Hey, what is hate? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, but this is just a Cornate Dark Apostle for Cast Space Marines. So I just wanted to share that real quick. Just in case, like, because I know we're early on in doing this, just so you know what I'm capable of. And again, to kind of shill out a video I did a little while back. Speed painting video. It's... well done, in my personal opinion. Alright, so let's start applying the red. Awesome spiky boy. Yes. I actually picked up, my family asked for my Christmas list this year, because, you know, we still get each other gifts, thankfully. I already know what I'm getting my mom. She wants a stereo system for the barn. And I think I'll have just enough by early December. So it says it's early December. I think I'll still have a chance of actually getting it. But I'm gonna pick up a stereo system for her barn. I'll have my dad knows more about wiring and electrical stuff, so I'll ask for his help in actually setting it up in there. And the plan is Christmas Day. Like, we're gonna walk her out there. And we're just gonna blast, like, all I want for Christmas. You know, we're just gonna blast some Christmas music. And she's gonna be like, yay! The sad thing is, we all know she's gonna use that to, like, listen to crime novels while she's feeding up the horses and stuff. But still, you know, she'll love it. But as for like my Christmas list to them, she's like, so what do you want for Christmas? I went, you're not gonna be able to afford it. She went, just send me the list and I'll see what I can get. I went, okay. And I sent her a list of World Eaters stuff, like the World Eaters Combat Patrol, the Angron like Demon Primarch, like, because I want to start like a World Eaters army. And I'm like, the cheapest thing on there is $140 a month. I should probably get like $1, but I don't expect her to shove out too much money. I want that to pool, but at the same time, I don't want that to gap either. Can paint but knows nothing about wiring. Correct. The way you said that implies that there's some kind of relation between the two. You can paint, but you don't know how to wire a house? Oh, God. I don't see where those intertwine. But yeah, I know how to paint, don't know how to wire a house. My dad was an electrician for many years of his life. I've never been an electrician. It's never been a goal of mine. It's not that I look down on the job. No, I'm actually quite impressed by electricians. But I don't have the brain for it. Plus, like, I grew up getting, like, shocked and stuff by our electric fence as a kid, so I actually have a mortal fear of electrocution. So for me, I'm good. The further away I work from that, the better. You know, it is rather simple. Wiring a house. I am going to just have to disagree with you that is simple. Unless you mean running wires. Running wires is easy, but actually setting up cables, breakers, cabling, making your own copper wire sets, a lot of the other shit that I don't understand that Dad has tried to explain to me since I was like 5. I'm good just not risking it. That red really thins out. It's almost more like a layer paint. 2 thin coats, more like 5 thin coats because it just thins so much. someone added me on Discord. Are those paints any good? The two thin coats? Wait, I'm confused by the question. So are you asking if the paints I'm using are any good? If so, yes, very much so. If you're asking if... Is there a brand called Two Thin Coats? If so, I've never used them, so I can't say. What I use is Vallejo and Citadel. Although mainly Vallejo. Vallejo is like my go-to for especially the primary colors. Also for like some of the side less primary colors. But generally speaking, I go for Vallejo. I use Citadel for, you know, most of my washes and metallics. And some other things like Bugman's Glow. You can't go wrong with Bugman's Glow for flesh tone. Excuse me. Yes, Duncan's. Oh, that's right. I forgot. He has a brand, doesn't he? Duncan. Oh. I don't know. I've never used them. When I heard he released a line, at first I thought it was a joke. Not because I heard the name, because I only just like you were my source for finding out the name of the brand was Two Thin Coats, which actually is kind of funny and fitting. But yeah, no. Yeah, like the idea of him having his own paint brand. I guess it isn't very far-fetched, but I don't know. I typically, like... When I think of mini painters, I don't think of them actually, like, making paints for themselves. Which is weird, considering that is kind of an easy thing to do. I've made some pigment paints for myself in the past. I don't recommend doing it. It's kind of annoying. Like, with the collection of paints I have that are not made by me, that should tell you something. I even made my own wash one time, and though it was effective, I'd rather just buy a wash. Then remake a whole nother batch. But that's because in certain ways with my hobby, I am lazy. He took the meme and ran with it. I mean, hey, that's how marketing works, baby. Like, you don't fight the meme, you let the meme ride. That's how it works. You work with the meme. So, but yeah, I haven't used Two Thin Coats. Maybe I should pick some up sometime and review it. That might be a fun video, but... Yeah, as of right now, I can't comment. They're probably good, and he's got years and years worth of practice, and I'm assuming safely he uses his own paints to paint some things. I mean, it would be quite telling if he's like... I know he still makes videos to this day, so if he's using other paints more than his own brand more right now... First of all, that's terrible marketing. But second of all, that's very telling to the quality of the paint he's working with. That he'd rather use other brands. So, but I haven't watched very many of his videos in years. Not that they're low quality or anything, it's just these days I don't watch a lot of mini painting videos. Like if I'll watch some when I'm like thinking of mini painting or when I, you know. But not I'm not constantly watching like 40K or painting related stuff. Also that red. What color do I want these frills to be? I want those probably to be like a bronze looking color. I might go with Runelord Brass, and then I'll do a flesh shade wash over it, which will make it look like a faded bronze, like a gold bronze. He's a stubby dwarf. Not the beard! Of course, we also gotta get the candle on his head, but I think I'm gonna do that last, because it overlaps with a lot of stuff. Do I want to make his helmet red as well? I mean, if I'm going to stick with like this retro style I am like using as a reference, Yes, I should also make that red. And why not? Keep it succinct. Makes it easier too, so I don't have to use too many other paints. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in frame here. It's amazing how much red paint I've been using lately. Like, the last mini I painted was this guy. And he's like 90% red. What's the music? It's chill. This music... Hold on. I believe this is Final Fantasy 1's music. Let me pull up the file. I changed it for the stream because we were going for... Yeah. So Final Fantasy 1, it's one of the musics used in that one. For like the Chaos Temple, Sunken Shrine. Yeah. I thought it would fit the tone of like a Warhammer, like, fantasy painting. So, and also it being game music, it's normally free. Although I guess I'll find out after the stream if I get copyright hit. If it wasn't so free. But most of the time, game music is safe. Most of the time, not always. Actually, weirdly enough, when it comes to the Final Fantasy franchise, it's usually not safe. But I am not too worried about it. I don't do YouTube for money. Although it's nice to get it, though. If you choose to donate, you'll still get my thank you. But, yeah. Well, if I did YouTube for money, I would do reaction videos constantly. Which I did actually do when I was a kid, when I first made a YouTube channel, but it was not very fun. Yeah, thing is, like... by all accounts, and this might come off as bragging a little bit, so feel free to, judge me. But it's quite easy to get successful on YouTube. Like, even in the modern day. You just gotta have no scruples or morals. Or ethics. Or a desire to do anything creative. Like, you want to be successful on YouTube. It's a 3-step process. 1, spam shorts. You don't even need to make anything creative yourself. Spam shorts of you reacting to a short. Unironically. On top of that'll get you more advertisements and pushed in the algorithm for your longer videos. And for your longer videos, just react to other content creators. You don't even need to be good at it. Like Sniper Wolf, for example. That bitch wasn't even really reacting to videos. She was reading a script of her reacting to videos, which is reacting is already the laziest content you can do. At least actually react to something. By the way, I don't want to dish on reactors too much. Because again, I used to be one for one, and for two, I do actually like some reactors. But I like ones that actually have something to say about the one of the weirdest things I find is, like, with people who binge watch reaction videos, you'll, like, see in the comments of someone who, like, talks a lot in their reaction videos, people complaining about it. It's like, dude, shut up. Watch the video. You're watching a reaction video. Presumably, you want someone else's take about the thing you're watching. Come on, I find this so stupid. But, yeah, it's actually quite easy to be successful on YouTube, but you just have to have no creativity, no scruples, and no morals. It's kind of like any business, really. You come, you soy pocket the current thing, you cash the YouTube check. Pretty much. I mean, and the thing is, I don't necessarily hate someone who does do that. Like, I kind of get it sometimes. Like, there's a market for it. That's the thing. Like, some people really, like, hate on reaction channels and, like, reactors. And to be fair, the lazy ones, like Sniper Wolf, yeah, they're really bad. go ahead, I say, and like shit on them. But even then, you can't really blame them, because what gets the views? Yeah, they're making the content. It's good with zoos. They're stealing content, stuff like that. Yeah. But really think about it. What do people watch the most on this platform? Like from a viewership standpoint, reactions. Even things that people don't even think of as reactions, or technically speaking, like commentary videos, right? Those are reactions with a bit more editing. But it's the same thing. You're watching someone and give their opinion and reacting to something in any sense. Like, that's the most popular content, period. The only thing that is comparable in popularity, and I would even argue it's not as popular still, but it's close, is wacky videos. Videos that are child-friendly and are, like, about goofy shit. You know, kids' videos, effectively speaking. Like, the YouTubers that basically just knock off, like, Nicktoons and stuff like that, like, from back in the day. Or Sesame Street, and like, they pander to kids. That's also extremely successful. Because a lot of kids are growing up with YouTube in front of them as opposed to traditional media. So, a lot of this generation's Sesame Street is... I was about to say PewDiePie, but less so PewDiePie even, which is kind of funny when you think about it, but it's like fucking Logan Paul reacting to a Suicide Forest situation. It's like, oh my god, guys! Like, the Soy Jack meme. And it's that motherfucker with that, like, Mike Wazowski hat. That poor bastard hanging from a tree. Oh, that's a dark... It's good. Like, everyone, like, hates on Logan Paul so much now for his, like... what was that NFT shit he was doing? What was that? What was that? Like... Well, actually, I think he was involved in multiple, but it's the animal one. What was that called? Stuff to binge at work or chill at home? Yeah. Or longer format stuff like Arch, Pancreas, No Work, Unnatural History. Yeah, like, yeah, but you're probably, well, I'll say older. You're above 20 is my assumption, right? With that, at most of like 20 and under have low attention spans, especially if you're from this generation. So a lot of it's TikToks and, you know, shorts and stuff like that. The monkey NFTs? No. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. I know the one you're talking about. It's not that one. Although I think maybe he was involved in that? I don't know. I can't keep track of that man's, like, malicious shit. Okay, so that's dried a little bit. So. CryptoZoo. I think that's it, isn't it? So I don't know how he didn't get jumped when in Japan. He should have been. Actually, you know, here's a $1 million question. Who's worse, that Johnny Somali guy or Logan Paul? I'm leaning towards Logan Paul because as bad as Johnny Somali was, and he was a total douche, like, in many ways worse than Logan was overall. But in terms of sheer, like, impact, I think Logan was worse because of the Suicide Forest. How dare you, TikTok, rather watch you paint. Why, I'd hope so. I tend to think I'm rather good at that. Is Moist Critical? Yeah, and the thing is, like, again, Moist Critical is more commentary, but the general gist is the same. With, like, a reaction channel, it's just a bit more editing, right? Like, instead of just having a picture-in-picture, you know, with, like, the reaction and then the person reacting. With commentary videos, it's the same exact thing, but instead it's jump cuts in between them and you don't watch the whole thing. And it's more, the focus is more on predetermined thoughts as opposed to fresh thoughts, like as you're watching it, like reactionary thoughts. So commentary is reactions, but with more effort put in them, pretty much. But again, same deal, same gist. And it's popular content. That's why, you know, again, the way to be successful on YouTube, like, if anyone ever asks that, isn't paying attention. The answer is very easy. It's just, do you actually want to be creative and successful? Then that's much fucking harder. Like, if you're on this platform and you want to do something unique, creative, you want to do something that no one else is doing, or at the very least, not necessarily that no one else is doing, but do it in your own way that makes it unique to you. Do you want to be an actual creator? Well, you're probably not going to see a lot of success. Because a lot of things have been cornered on markets, and the amount of work you'll have to put in to find a niche no one has at least tapped into somewhat is damn near impossible. So, it's not easy. What color should I go for the beard? Because he's already red, and my plan was to go for orange. My plan was to go for an orange. But like, make him ginger. But I feel like that's going to clash with an already vibrant red of his armor. So, maybe go for, like, a brown? Yeah, so go for, like, a beastie browns, then I'll lighten it with a little bit of a different color. Or maybe go blonde. Huh? Maybe go for, like, a blonde. Blonde? Yeah, we can probably go for a blonde. We can do that. Yeah, we'll go with blonde. Why not? You know, we'll go with that. I think that would be cool. Yeah. Although, do I want to go like a ridiculous blonde, like whoa, or so a way I could do that? I'm trying to think how I'll approach this. So I can do a base coat of a brown lightened with flash gets yellow. Give it that little bit of a blonde sheen, and then do little highlights. Or I could do like a mock wash with a yellow over a white. Curious how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I don't usually do blonde. So the only other time I've done blonde, and I didn't even think I did it successfully, it was with Sanguinius. Yeah, with my Sanguinius I did a blonde, but it really isn't that good. And to do that, I basically did I had to redo his hair like 3 times. So I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I want to do the same method. Because that doesn't quite, like, my biggest problem with my Sanguinius paint job is the hair that I did. It's like way too yellow, almost Super Saiyan glow yellow, and I want like an actual blonde. Yeah, probably won't go with that. Nothing over. There we go. Okay. Of course, I can't use this for reference because he's got no hair. I mean, there's still a bit more red to apply, but while I apply the red, let me think about it. Also, obviously there's a glazing method, but I don't know if I want to do that for his hair. That'd be a bit much. Okay. That might be a way to do it. Xandria dust would wash it with the brown? Maybe. That would give it that pale look. Hold on. I'll try something in a second. Let me add this next layer here. Make sure I get all the red on there. Two thin coats. Okay. So now we'll do the beard. I think I'll use the Xandria dust method, because that actually sounds pretty smart. Hold on. I know I have a Xandria dust around here. It's Bugman's Xandria dust. There you go. Also looking for one of my greens. One of my greens. That's dark green. A light green. Refractive green. Refractive? What the fuck does refractive mean? Hey, Reyes. New Asmogan looking a baller. Looking like a baller, sorry, though his pose is a bit underwhelming. Wait, who? Oh, you mean like the new announcements from today? I haven't seen them. I didn't know about it until last minute. I've been very much disconnected with things for a while now, so I'll have to look up all the announcements after the fact. I'm trying to figure out what refractive green looks like. I'm assuming it's a vibrant green. And you would figure with a name like refractive green. Yeah, let's... Crap. That's refractive green. It just looks like a normal green to me. Refractive my ass. So just pale green. Yeah. For the purposes of what I want to use it for, I'll just mix it with Flash Gets Yellow for that vibrant green that I'm looking for. Mixology, folks. Not just bartenders get to do it, but so do I. Honestly, if you're ever looking for like a saturated green, or like a bright green, yeah, this is the same color, but now mixed with a little bit of flash kits yellow. Look how much more vibrant that is. Yeah, flash kits yellow is definitely worth the investment if you ever want to saturate colors. It doesn't just do it for greens, although it's best with a green. Flash kits yellow and a green is amazing. But you can also use flash kits yellow with a red or an orange. It doesn't work so good for like purple and stuff, the blues or the blue offshoots, in my opinion. But if you're looking to really saturate though, like greens or reds or oranges, flash kits really does that. So it looks very nice. Do I want to put a little bit more flash kits in that? Nah, I think we'll be fine. Alright, so also Xandria dust for the beard. If it'll fucking mix. Nope, that is fucked. Yep, should have tossed this out a while ago. Damn it! Okay. Hold on. Now I gotta find a newer Xandria dust that isn't dead. You see that? It sounds thick. Ooh, that's goopy. That's goopy. I might need an agitator for this. Damn. Yeah, that is goopy. Crap, I don't know where my agitator balls are. People are DMing me. Ah, okay, so this is some of the new stuff today. Who is this? Wait, is this Asmogan? Really? You know, I can warm up to the model. Bruh. Don't get off to it, folks. It's just paint. This isn't the site for that. Again, I don't have an agitator ball, so I'm just hoping if I shake it enough without one, it'll be fine. No, I'm definitely gonna need an agitator, because that is way too goopy. Maybe I can get away with it a little bit here. Maybe. I don't need too much of it, just a little bit. Give us a good base coat for the beard. And then I'll do like a wash with a yellow. See how that affects it. See if that'll give it the sheen I'm looking for. Shall see. Legend of Mana, not gonna lie. You're welcome, I think. It's not too loud, is it? Obviously, I want it to be there and act in the background, as it should, but at the same time, I don't want it to overpower my voice when I'm talking. Sorry, moved too far away. This is the first coat? Yes, this is the first coat. Might not have to do multiple with this because I'm gonna do a mock wash over it. For the blonde part. Actually, a smarter way to do it than I'm thinking of doing it might be to just take a small dash of Flash Gets Yellow and mix it with Xandri Dust, and then maybe some white. Well, I'll see how it looks with just Flash Gets Yellow first. And I might do little highlights and then do a wash. Like a flesh tone wash or a sepia. See how it looks. Worst case scenario, I have to go over it a second time, but it won't be too bad. And it already is looking pretty blonde right now. It is looking like a blonde tone. It just needs more depth. I nicked some of the armor. Crap. Alright, bumped it with my skull. But yeah, just kind of eyeballing the new Asmogan model. I'm not a huge fan of the face mask or helmet, the grill part of the helmet. But that's because I like, well, it's not even necessarily that I don't like it. I just don't like it for Asmogan. That could just be me, though. I will say I definitely see where Reyes is coming from for the pose. The pose is kind of meh. Actually, it kind of feels like they're trying to pay homage to like older poses with it, but it just doesn't really work for that model. Like, he's so detailed. He's got the smoke coming out, the plumage. It feels kind of... Yeah, he feels very stationary with it. He doesn't really feel very ready for action for me. Like, he looks like he's striking a pose properly. Like, more, it feels less like he's frozen in time in the midst of battle, and it looks like if you were to like do a prime coat with black and then do a zenithal highlight, it would fit as a statue just as well as it would fit as an actual model on the tabletop. I like models that are like more into the action, or like they look like they're frozen in time in the midst of a battle. So I will say that that's kind of my problem looking with it, is he looks way too posed, like an actual pose. Like he looks like he's getting ready for a photo. You're in Arizona. He's already looking blonde. That Xandra just looks way too good for that coverage. Actually, kind of impressed. I normally associate Xandra with like the khaki color for Cadian Guardsman. I guess that's why it didn't come to mind initially. Yeah, thanks chat for making me think of that. That was a good idea. For sure. Okay, I think I got the hair. You don't paint your fingers, you aren't really painting. I don't know about that. It's just a habit I have because it's a good way to like do little test dabs. But I don't know. I think plenty of people are able to paint without turning their fingers into their own separate art project. I think anyway. Oh, got a little bit of a loose nail. Yeah, I'll be fine. A little bit of a correction. Nasty little bugger. Figured I'd nick it, but I was hoping not to. Gotta reapply some lead belcher. So if we could get Skaven in 40k, what do you think it would look like? Well, first of all, I don't think Skaven are appropriate for 40k. They do feel like they should remain in Fantasy and in Sigmar. So, I don't know. For me, I'm fine with us not having an equivalent. I mean, we kind of do in the form of Tyranids, to an extent. I know they're very, very different. But to an extent. Like the whole swarm and... They're both infestations, you know. But, I don't know. For Skaven, I feel like they should belong. They belong in Fantasy, and they very much helped identify it in its own sense. So, overall, I don't think we should get them in 40k. But, if we were to get them in 40k, I don't know. I guess they would be a Xenos answer to the Leagues of Votann, which are already, I guess, Xenos... Leagues of Votann are weird. Like they're both Xenos and not at the same time, which is kind of hard to think about or explain. Looks odd. Yeah. A little bit of ASMR for you. Alright, so should I do lead belcher? Yeah, I'll do lead belcher all the way down. Votann are 5'11" pocket princes. Basically, Abhuman deserves to be categorized as Xenos. Yeah, and I agree. But they're more human than the fucking... My biggest problem with Leagues of Votann is they're supposed to be, like, bringing back the squats, right? But I've seen the models for Leagues of Votann. They're the same size... Like, the dwarf style that they aren't the same as these dwarves. Right? Because you take a Akkadian model... Like, a Akkadian model represent a normal-sized human and put it next to a League of Votann, like, soldier. Or basic infantry. For, like, a 1-for-1. They're almost the same size. And they're on the same size base. If I'm not mistaken, Leagues of Votann basic infantry, they're on size 32 bases, aren't they? They're not on 25 mils. They're on 30 mils. Yeah, they don't look like squats. Squats were... Well, they're squats. They're short. They're smaller than, like, a basic Akkadian. Or like a normal human, I should say. Like, they'd be more akin to this traditional dwarf in size, which, for comparison, like, this is a Space Marine, or, well, Chaos Marine, but, you know, same diff. Look how small he is on that. Now, of course, a normal Akkadian stops about the same height, right about here. And the squat is even shorter. Yeah, you can't factor in the candle. The candle's giving him a little bit more height. So, the squat goes to about his midriff in terms of height. And Akkadian, it would be in between. Almost like right about here. Top of his head. That's how they should be for height. Like, Space Marine should be up here. Akkadians, and then squats. And then, like, ratlings. All the way down there. Then, of course, Ogre gonna be, like, here. But fucking... Like, the Leagues of Votann squats are bigger than, like, a basic Akkadian. They don't look like squats. And I get that that's why they... Like, that's probably additionally why they don't call them squats. Because, well, they're not the same fucking idea anymore, really. Like, they're more like humans. They're just bulkier. spouts are just a dick punch to StarCraft. Pretty much. I mean, everything about them screams StarCraft. Like the technology, the aesthetic, it's very much StarCraft. But they were supposed to be bringing back squats. Like, that's what the representatives of GW even said when they were announced. But they really don't fit that aesthetic at all. Yeah, they botched a lot of things with Leagues of Votann. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like the models and stuff. Like, aesthetically, I would like to collect some someday and paint them, and they'd be cool. But in some ways, and this might be hugely controversial to say, but I think Leagues of Votann aesthetically fit 40k less than the Tau do. I think the Tau fit 40k better than Leagues of Votann. The Leagues of Votann look like they're from an entirely different setting. Gotta dip off, gonna lurk though. Time for me to end Du Bois to go commit exterminatus level war crimes or risk. Alright, have fun. Yeah, seriously, like the Leagues of Votann, for me, match the setting aesthetic a lot worse than Tau do. Like, they're way too rounded, smoothed. Nothing about them feels very gothic or very dark. In fact, they're typically brightly colored in terms of all the preview images and stuff on them. Like, they just really don't fucking fit. Like, in many ways, I think Tau look like they fit better. And that's not saying much, because I think Tau don't belong either. Okay, so real quick. So I go, no, my Rune Lord Blast. There it is. I'm gonna do Rune Lord Brass on the rest. Or on a good chunk of the other metal bits. We're almost ready for a wash. I think I'm gonna do an overall with Agrax. Except for the beard, I think I'll try Sepia Tone, see how that looks. Rune Lord. As far as the tower concerned, almost wish they'd trade with Star Wars for the using wrong. I mean, the using wrong would fit 40k to an extent, I would think. Like, although idea-wise, they would just kind of feel like a. If you put the using wrong in 40k, they would be one of the weakest fucking factions, ironically. But they would kind of just come off as like a gene stealer cult with some extra steps. Cody Warren, welcome to stream. The fact that Vong are from another galaxy with exterminator machines, maybe they're from 40. Yeah, maybe they just like took a trip in the warp and they took a wrong turn and they're like, hey, we're a galaxy far, far away.
I know we took a wrong turn, Jerry. I'm sorry, you put me on the pilot seat, but I was tired. I took a nap. Well, let's make the best of it. Let's kill everybody here.
That probably wasn't a very good using wrong voice, but still, I tried. A little bit of variety in the weapon. GW and Blizzard turned on each other. The thing is, we don't know the full history of like exactly what happened. Like, turned on each other. I don't necessarily. I wouldn't describe it as that. Like, that gives like a corporate espionage, like fuck you kind of. Nah, it's just like they agreed to work with each other. Then there was a breakdown of like the agreement and the communication, and then GW pulled out and said, "No, we're not letting you make a 40K game." And Blizzard was like, okay, we're already mid-production. We already started making resources and stuff. Well, let's just rename everything and rewrite the story. And that was that. They just, like, redesigned some stuff. And they made the best with the leftovers. Which weirdly enough, really worked. So I have to keep reaching past the camera view to wipe off my brush. Okay, do I want to buy the wash? No. Still gotta do the feet. Still gotta do the lamp. Plus I also gotta do the trim up here. Which I think I'll do as a yellow. I don't know if I want to do flash kits for that one. Actually, let's do orange flash kits mix. Go to bed. Good night, my dude. Hope you have a good one. You too, my man. You too. I can't stay up too much longer, so I'm gonna try and like not necessarily speed do the rest of this, but try and stay on track at the very least. Every time I touch that, I get covered in yellow paint. I just touched the sides. There should be no paint bleeding out the sides. What the fuck? Gotta love paint pots. Gonna have to re-go over some of the red because I let this bleed over too much. I just realized he's gonna look like a McDonald's employee by the time I'm done. by dwarves. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Oh, I'm loving it. Crap, Amazon's gonna steal that, aren't they? If they ever have to do a crossover. Crossover ad with Mickey D's. Season 2 of Rings of Power brought to you by McDonald's. Meat right off the bone. Projectile. Sorry, Beerus. Do you do any other painting or predominantly miniatures? I'm new here. Predominantly miniatures. I don't do like murals or anything. I have no talent with like a canvas in painting, which is interesting. You know, I can do miniatures pretty well with like filling out details and stuff like that, and you know, working with what I have in that regard. I have no artistic talent with like again, like a flat plane and a canvas and paints. Like I've never been able to do that, interestingly enough. So yeah, I predominantly do miniatures. That's like my main thing. Pretty much my only thing in regards to art, really. Not that I can't get dynamic with it, you know? Like, careful where I lean over with shit. Using a pretty massive example with my Imperial Knight. This is what I've painted with my Imperial Knight. And as you can tell, this is where you start to see why I don't paint with a canvas, because that's pretty uneven right there. But yeah, all this is done with brush to mimic, like, you know, scripture text and stuff like that. But yeah, these are hand painted on right here, these crosses. So that's the best I can do with a brush, with like a larger canvas to work with. I'm not very good with like painting like a detailed mural or anything. Yeah, and then that is another thing. I don't really have desire to do that kind of painting. You know, like I like miniatures. Like I like painting onto a 3D object with like its own natural physical details that I can fill in. Painting from pure imagination or even from reference and stuff like that for like a flat canvas, nah, that's never been my talent, as I've increasingly learned over the years. So, yeah, I'm just fine with doing miniature painting and filling in stuff like this, but stuff like that, nah, it's not for me. 3D scares you? Really? Because you think it's more intimidating, or because, you know, what about it, I guess, scares you necessarily? And just a few other examples of my miniature work. Got this old guy. This is my 3D printed and hand painted by me, of course. Orc War Boss, custom build and model. And then obviously you got my Sanguinius. Two-foot Titan. That'd be interesting. A large fuck-off Titan would be interesting paint to do. Yeah, I did take a commission from Matthew Gordon to do, oh, fuck. It's been a while. Fuck. That would be... Which Primarch was that? Night Lords, right? I almost said Corvus Corax. No, that's the Raven Guard. Fuck. What's the... I know, the Night Haunter. Evil Batman. Fuck. I know who it is. It's just his name completely left my brain. It's usually the name I want to call upon that leaves my brain, but... Kurz, yes, thank you. Conrad Kurz. That's how you know the name I actually wanted to call upon left my brain. I like your work and style. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I make a pretty good, unique style. Good approach. Oh, I have fun with it. I wanted to finish this dwarf, but it's getting really late and I'm starting to feel tired. So I think I'll finish him another time. Yeah, something else to like pick up for like another stream. Oh, damn. Maybe if I had gotten out of work sooner, I would have had enough energy. But they're gonna have to wrap it up there, guys. yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I will get back to this another day. Probably not tomorrow. I don't know. Like, I'm still, you know, stuff's a little... I'm not gonna, like, vent or anything on stream. Clean your hands first. I mean, that might be wise, yes. Because of all the paint. But, yeah, this was much needed, like, a much needed, like, hobby therapy. Because these last, like, 4 or 5 days have been extremely rough. With, like, the Discord community I handle, and... There's a lot. There's a lot that's happened, and... Like, as much as I've tried to get it out of my head, it's one of those things that lingers. It's one of those things that lingers, so... But, this was fun. It was good chat with you guys, and also, you know, finding out there's some fresh new Warhammer reveals. Again, not a fan of the pose for Asmodai, but could be worse, I suppose. But yeah. Thanks for allowing me to indulge in a little bit of therapy with you guys. Hobby therapy. Alright. Have a good one, guys. Press the right button. Oh, there it goes.